feel like I'm about to skydive.
Geronimo! You be that. You're the one that's nervous.
I am nervous.
Everything, all of your hopes and dreams are hinged on this one moment. Just don't screw it up.
I'll try not to. What's up, plant nerds? Welcome to the whole of the internet here in Arkansas. We do get somewhat good internet, don't we?
Evidently our internet quality here is good enough to
receive emails. No,
contrary to popular opinion.
So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Where to begin? Where to begin? A lot has happened, kiddos. A lot has happened. So if you'll remember a couple of videos ago, before my wish list video, I did a video called Spilling the Tea, Steve's Leaves Albo Restock. I was spilling some tea. Well, you know, just kind of retelling the experience of being like a big fan of Steve's Leaves and really wanting to get that Albo restock, and the pain and the sadness and the frustration of what it was like to not nail an Albo. And wouldn't you know it, the email that I got was from Darren Heppel, who happens to be the operations manager at Steve's Leaves. Now I just want you guys to all calm down for just a minute, because don't you say to yourself, like, isn't that just normal everyday activity? Don't you just getting emails from people like that? No, I'm not. So I was very excited just seeing that I had gotten an email from Darren, and this is what it said. This is the juiciest juicy scoop you're gonna get today. Hi Rachel. I saw your video on YouTube about the great Albo crash of 2019. Now, let's just wait a minute and talk about that right there. That one sentence had me rolling right off the bat. You can tell he's got a good sense of humor. You can tell he wasn't offended by any of the things that we were chatting about.
And you could tell he was aware that many people tried and failed.
I would love to do some sort of collaboration with you. I would like to have someone on the outside to give the inside scoop about things like the crash, to let the masses know when, where, what, and why some things happen. Let me know if that sounds like something you would be interested in. Thank you, Darren. Needless to say, Casey woke up really early this morning, because I got that email pretty early. So, of course, we wanted to talk about it, right?
Well, we did discuss it for like 1/10 of a second, and then decided quickly that yes, we would like to do that.
Of course we wanted to talk about it.
He ended up having us call him directly this morning, so we called Darren, and he gave us some really cool information about the incident.
The great Albo crash of 2019. Now, I made a lot of comments in the video, which were repeated back to me, and he was listening, and he listened to the whole video. So go back and watch it if you haven't watched it. He addressed some issues that we brought up, from why maybe the site would have crashed, all the way down to my comments about the variegation levels on the stock plants that they have there. So let's just start methodically working our way through what Darren wants you to know.
So kind of a little bit of a background. He told us a little bit about Steve's Leaves, how they'd been there for like 42 years, and that he's only been there for like a couple of years, and that he was brought on to help set up their online ordering system, which was relevant to this video, obviously.
Right. And
kind of demanded, he's obviously managing their operations and knows everything if you about plants and stuff. So we're going to link to some stuff where he did.
Absolutely. I don't know if you guys
talk about variegated plants.
Right. I don't know if you've ever seen that video or not with Summer Rain Oaks. I don't know if you're familiar, Homestead Brooklyn. I mean, get your life. Whatever he has, I assure you. If you're not familiar with who Darren is, we're going to link to some videos where he and Summer Rain Oaks talked about levels of variegation and things like the Syngonium and the Monstera deliciosa variegata Albo.
So one of the things we had talked about was, I wonder how many plants were available on this on this restock, because
How many?
it really feels like there's not enough. Obviously there's not enough, but it feels like there's an extreme gap between supply and demand.
Here was my thinking on that. Was I thought that they had quite a few. I don't know why. I guess I figured that they would have like 200, 300. I don't know. I guess I was thinking big, you know. So
he said typically when they do a restock, and their Albo restocks are about every 2 months. He said they get between 20 and 30 Albos.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
20 to 30. Mm-hmm. And there were 1,400 people logged onto their website trying to buy those Albos.
Time out. I'd like to introduce my resident tech expert, Casey. And he would like to tell you why, when 1,400 people try to access a website, and this type of website, he's going to tell you why that doesn't work.
Because it's not built for that much traffic. He said that they have their site in AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, which is one of the big cloud data centers that you can buy data server space from. They handle everything, so it's being managed by Amazon, basically. Right. They have servers that you can buy that dynamically allocate how many resources are available. So rather than you buying a huge bunch of server space and server capacity for that 1 or 2 days a year where you have big volume, you can get dynamically allocated dynamically allocated processing power, so that as your demand goes up and more and more people are hitting your site, it'll allocate more resources as needed. Right. And that only charges you for the time that you're using the high resources, and then it allocates it back down to your normal level. So it's an affordable way to have access to lots of capacity that kind of grows and shrinks as your demand grows and shrinks.
Right, but it
doesn't work instantly though.
Right.
And that was the problem, is that it didn't have time to dynamically allocate those resources in the immediate, evidently, 60 seconds that 1,400 people hit the website and tried to order those 30 items.
So their equipment is good. Everything they're using is good. It's just there's never going to be the kind of site that's going to be able to handle that huge amount of influx within seconds. You know what I mean? So it's obvious that would happen, and we knew that. We were just joking around.
But it kind of surprised me too, because you're thinking like a plant shop or a plant nursery that's doing this, that they may not have the best technology, and they may not be built for stuff like this, but they really do. And they really did have really good infrastructure. Yeah. It's just one of those things that I don't care who you are, when your demand goes up by 1,000% like that,
that's what's going to happen.
You can't handle it. And there's going to be blips, and the blip is what everybody was seeing.
I think he said like 2 benches worth of mother plants that he uses. So they're not producing as quickly, because as we all know, the variegated plants grow at a much slower pace than the other like Thai constellation that has more chlorophyll and things like that. So he kind of stressed that they produce as many as they can produce, and the demand is just crazy high.
So he also mentioned that there were 1,400 people trying to buy those 30 plants, and there's already 1,700 people that have signed up for the restock notification, so when it happens again. So be prepared, because there is going to be limited supply of these plants, as we all know. Also, about the restocks, everybody doesn't need to be calling Darren and asking him what time the restock for the Albo is going to be. They restock every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. It
takes a couple of hours for all the restocks to kind of be allocated throughout the website. So kind of watch for a couple of hours if there's something that you're interested in or that you're wanting to put in your cart and kind of check out with immediately. Keep an eye out. Follow Steve's Leaves on Instagram. Go like their page on Facebook and get really involved in like their social media presence, so that if you forget, or if you just, it slipped your mind or whatever, you're always going to get that reminder about a restock.
So what were you saying about the level of variegation in the plants? Because that came up as well.
Yeah, we talked about that also. And he said the reason why the stock photo kind of looks why it looks is because if they take a stock photo that's a little under variegated, and you get your plant from Steve's Leaves and it is more variegated than the stock photo, you're more likely to be a much happier customer, right? They're not gonna push this stock photo of all this amazing heavily variegated plant, and then maybe you get one that has a couple leaves that aren't so heavily variegated, right? So it's them finding the right tone, the right note. That way, if you're saying, if I'm okay with this picture, they can only make you happier, right? They can only make you happy from that point. They came in, I've seen pictures on Instagram from several people, and I'm gonna put them here on the side of the screen. The Steve's Leaves Albo Monsteras are gorgeous. They're beautiful. And I'm not making it up. The picture proves it. Just sit there and look pretty. That's what I need from you, okay? So the 2 stems that are in these albos, there's 2. So you know on eBay when you're shopping for an albo and you get the 1 stem, you get 2 stems when you're ordering for Steve's Leaves. And I'm not trying to hold out, like try to get the intake up there to like 6,000 people on the waiting list, because you know I'm still trying to get one. I'm still going to try to get one. We're gonna collaborate in the future. Not really sure what we're gonna do yet, but Mama's still gonna be trying to get an albo. That's all there is to it.
Now you're one of 1,700.
Now I'm one of 1,700 versus being one of 1,400. But hey, I also, if you check out the comment section from that last video I did, there was some good ideas about how to be more prepared if you actually do get through, and if the site actually kind of works for you maybe after a couple of minutes of it struggling. If you actually get in, you need to be prepared. There's some preparation tips in the last video on the comment section.
So tune in to see what type of collaboration we'll be doing. We will be making that announcement probably within the next week or so.
Yes, and it's super exciting. Also, another side note about Steve's Leaves is keep in mind that Monday and Tuesdays are all hands on deck shipping days for them. I'm sure you can imagine how busy they are throughout the week. And if you do have like some sort of communication, for some reason you haven't heard back from them, by Wednesday you definitely will. Once again, grade A service with Steve's Leaves. And now you know what, when, why, who, and where, and how to be better prepared for next time. Look, someone wins the lotto every time. Someone wins the lotto. And if you're playing, you can't win unless you play. You know what I mean? You can't win unless you play. So get in there, kiddos, and play. That's all the exciting things that I know right now. Lots of exciting things coming up for the future. We are going to be working on some sort of a collaboration, some sort of a giveaway perhaps.
I wonder.
I mean, maybe. Stay tuned. You never know. That's the tea. That's us spilling the real tea. Straight from Darren, the operations manager himself at Steve's Leaves.
The inside scoop.
The insider scoop. So now you know. Keep your fingers crossed. Keep your eye on that Steve's Leaves page. If you don't follow him, go follow him so that you don't miss your next chance for the unicorn plant. Peace out. Later, Taters. See you on the flip side. Bye. Before you go, one more really cool thing that happened. If you think you can handle any more deets, if you think you're ready for any more deets.
Don't know if I can handle it. I'm pretty excited.
We may or may not have been invited to go check out the Steve's Leaves facility. Did you hear that, Malin Cacho? I'm going to the Steve's Leaves facility. Did you hear that, Bradley? Did you guys hear that? I'm going to go.
That means I'm going too.
That means Casey's going too, so we are going to have one heck of a time down there checking out all the cool plants and all the cool begonias that Steve's Leaves has to offer.
And see this whole area that where they're propagating the albos and everything.
Oh my, I can't, guys, you guys need to pray for me because I can't even keep it together. I can't shower. I can't do anything right now. My whole life is just flashing before my tiny little eyes.
Y'all were good troopers.
Now I'll let you go. Now you can go.